What's good, everybody? It's your boy Tony the Savant. Hope you're having a good to great day. Shout out to y'all, man, for pulling up to the video. I want to talk about this gentleman, Steve Kerr, coach of the Golden State Warriors. We've talked about him a few times on this platform, mostly in regard to some of the wild and the wild takes he kind of comes to the microphone with. Um, I respect Steve Kerr as a Chicago Bulls legend, me being a lifelong Chicago Bulls fan. I respect him as the Golden State um, head coach, the element of championship DNA that he brought to that organization. A lot of people like to discount him, because of Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson was the architect. But there are just some coaches that can only coach a team so far. And we've seen a number of Mark Jacksons and people act like his only coaching job was at Golden State. I believe Mark Jackson. I know for sure he had more than one coaching job. He had a number of coaching jobs. Didn't lead any of those franchises to a championship. But anyway, that's neither here or there. I just like to put things in perspective and give Steve Kerr a little bit of credit for what he has brought to the Golden State organization. Um, excuse me. But nonetheless, Steve Kerr has come out with a take. Now, if y'all don't know about that little viral moment Greg Popovich had the other night when he grabbed the microphone as Kawhi Leonard was at the free throw line, the San Antonio Spurs crowd was booing him, booing Kawhi Leonard. And I've never seen anything like this before personally. But Greg Popovich goes over to the mic, the speaker mic, and he says on the mic that um, all in all, I don't know what he said verbatim, but he essentially said that the San Antonio Spurs fans were being classless, that they were above, booing a particular athlete, all that kind of stuff. And then Steve Kerr, that was the viral moment. Steve Kerr comes out and kind of, goes, he pushes the point that Greg Popovich was making, I guess. He doubles down on it. And he says that any star player that has bought an organization of a championship, uh, the fans don't have a right to boo that particular player. And I thought that was just kind of, a little bit much for the brain. A lot to break down, if you will. Because yeah, you want to say on one hand, respectfully, LeBron brought Cleveland a championship, so yeah, whatever. They should respect LeBron. But seeing how some of these modern day athletes uh, have carried themselves, some of the actions that they themselves have decided to take, um, the fans aren't booing these guys in regards to, just pure disrespect out of disrespect. No. Kawhi Leonard kind of bullied his way out of San Antonio. And all things considered, things worked out for him in, uh, where was that place? Toronto. He has not had the same stability in the sense that he had when he was in San Antonio. He's had good rosters. He's had, he's been a part of good organizations with good front offices. But I still, to this day, believe that Kawhi Leonard would have led the San Antonio Spurs to another two championships, at least, if he would have stayed with that organization and Greg Popovich. Because now you got a great coach, you got a great organization. You're the carry on, you're the bridge from the old dynasty. Now you're the face of the new dynasty. Uh, Essentially, what I wanted for Jordan Poole and Golden State as well. I wanted that same kind of uh, career for Kawhi Leonard. But nonetheless, he's left. That was his right, and all that good stuff. He's left, and now, the fans of San Antonio still hold some resentment against Kawhi Leonard for how he exited San Antonio, and that's their right. Us as fans, we invest a lot of time, energy, money, and emotion. And I don't think it's the job, if you will, of a head coach to say or not say what fans can and can't do. I think there's a sacred bond between fans and athletes and fans and sports teams. And it does. Things do tend to get disrespectful on both sides sometimes. We've seen athletes uh, disrespect fans in some ways and all that kind of stuff. But as far as Kawhi Leonard's case, everybody has accused him of being the face of load management. Essentially, it all started in San Antonio when Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili essentially said that he was faking, an injury to a degree. I didn't agree with how Tony Parker and Manu said that or presented that to the media. But let's be real, how Kawhi Leonard has acted since those days, since that time, since he's been in Toronto and since he's been in Los Angeles. We all know that it's in Kawhi Leonard's contract that he only plays a certain amount of games, and I think Skip Bayless exposed that, talking about how Kawhi Leonard's uncle goes to the negotiation tables and tells these organizations, hey, Kawhi Leonard can be perfectly healthy, but in order to maintain his health, he needs to only play a certain amount of games. The whole blueprint for load management. And so San Antonio, how he exited out, all these details have come out about Kawhi Leonard since then. Time always tells the truth. And things have shown that Kawhi Leonard, how he is carrying himself now, he was carrying himself then. And so the Spurs fans, I feel like, Steve Kerr, to a degree, I mean, I'm only bought him into this because still like 10% of that take I agree with. But you gotta understand too, man, and especially as a guy that has been, I guess Steve Kerr is a little spoiled or just kind of a little removed from the humbler or the basic aspects of fans and the concept behind them. But fans invest a lot, and so uh, when we come against an athlete or come against a team or come against a coach or come against a GM or whatever, it's usually for several reasons, not just one. So and I understand the resentment for Kawhi Leonard. Now Kawhi is one of my personal favorite players. But at the end of the day, I don't exactly agree with everything that he's decided to do, every move he decided to make. And as well, when I learned this information of, I forget his uncle's name. Skip Bayless used to talk about him a lot. But, talk about his uncle and, it's essentially how his uncle was his Rich Paul. How LeBron got Rich Paul. His uncle was his version of Rich Paul, doing all of the business ends and, making sure Kawhi Leonard got exactly what he wanted. And learning all this information kind of makes me be like, all right, man, all right, come on, bro. You know what I mean? I know you're healthy. You're over there in some new Versace outfit, new Gucci shades, all this stuff. I know you're healthy. Oops, sorry, y'all. I know you're healthy. Your team needs you. And, we all know it's in your contractual obligations to sit out this game or sit out that game, whether you're healthy or not, so, and not just Kawhi. Now everybody's doing that. That's like the new thing of the NBA. So much so these guys want to shorten the season. Let's just say we shorten the season to 60 games. How many games are these dudes going to sit out then? Are we only going to see these star players for 30 games a season, 40 games? We only see you dudes for 50 now. Maybe 40, 50 games now. I can imagine if they shorten the season, how many days these dudes would take off and how bare these seasons will look then. But the NBA probably would never do that. That's been a rumor floating around for years, probably tens of years at this point, and they've never acted upon it because the NBA needs to make that money. and we'll get into. I'm getting into different topics for different videos, but anyway, Steve Kerr, like I say, as a head coach, I understand where he's coming from, but when you talk about fans and the relationship fans have with athletes, specifically the Spurs with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi was a great contribution to the Spurs, but he wasn't exactly perfect in the divorcing of him and the Spurs organization. Things coming out, things that came out then. I kind of looked at Manu and Tony Parker, wild crazy, because I've never seen teammates just, openly out another teammate as well. I've never seen that. But as there's a reason why I believe they had some merit to what they were saying. Like, hey, look, dude, you can be playing. You know what I mean? Tony Parker, who's 100 years older than you, or I think Manu, whichever one of them had the same injury. You know what I mean? And then recovered and came back. They called him out for that, and to a degree, I think you should call out your teammate in private. I'm sure they did, but they did what they did, and it kind of showed us that Kawhi Leonard ain't perfect. He ain't perfect either. So that's all I got for y'all, man. Tell me what y'all think about this in the comment section. Do you agree with Steve? Do you think that fans have a right to boo players that have bought them championships? Like I say, I don't. I do think fans have a right to boo these dudes, but in perspective, you know what I mean? Like once are we booing them just because we're being vindictive that they left the city? No, because Michael Jordan left Chicago, retired, whatever, and the Chicago Bulls fans, I was there, I seen it, still cheer for Jordan in a Wizards jersey. So especially when he came to play in Chicago, so it wasn't no manner of, them being vindictive that he was gone. No, it was a matter of that we still respected him and still respected how he was moving after he left. Spurs fans have a case. They had a case to disagree with how the divorce went, how Kawhi Leonard acted in the divorce, and then how he's acted after the divorce. So y'all tell me what y'all think about it, man. I've said enough. Y'all the bosses. I'm the guy that loves to work. Just hope the work's excellent and approved. Appreciate y'all. And I get back to y'all. Let me get back to work. Peace.